Hello, welcome back to Fist Entertainment. This time for my review of currently the last and hopefully the last Annabelle movie in the Conjuring universe. After this point, I don't think they should make any more of these. They can't do anything more with the Annabelle doll beyond this point. Now, of course, I'm referring to the film takes place literally either at the same time or right before The Conjuring. I say literally right before The Conjuring. It takes place right before The Conjuring. Now, of course, will be Annabelle Comes Home. Again, forgive the lighting. It is very dark outside. Doing the best we can to show this off. Cover-wise, this is probably my favorite snapcase cover for the Annabelle films. This one, I really like the way it looks. A big step up from the first two, I would say. Very big step up from the first two. And since we are done with this, we can put these away. One second. Alrighty. So Annabelle Comes Home from 2019. Although in chronological order it takes place before three of the films, this one is the newest installment in the Conjuring universe. Alright. First opinion. This is the best of the Conjuring universe movies, in terms of Annabelle films. So this is the best Annabelle movie. I definitely say this is the best Annabelle film. It really does play off of everything that Annabelle and Annabelle Creation obviously mentioned. But what makes this one so much more special is the fact that you actually have the Warrens in this movie. It shows them, it shows a little bit of their world they actually have. A little bit more. I actually really liked that aspect, is the fact that, unlike the first two films, we know that the Annabelle doll is a conduit for a demonic demon. We know that. We don't know the extent of what this demon can do and what it can actually possess. We know it can possess people. We know it can reside inside that doll. But that got thrown out when we see what it can do in this movie. Now keep in mind that unlike Annabelle Creation, this one is based on real events, just like the first Annabelle film is. Which means that this stuff actually happened. To a point, obviously. You gotta fill in stuff to make it entertaining in these movies, but they're pretty accurate to the real actual stuff that happened in real life with the Warrens, with Ed and Lorraine Warren and their daughter. It comes to these movies. And so I would say that a lot more than you think is probably accurate to real life in these movies than isn't. And of course, I'll get into that when I get into the plot. Might as well just do that now, get into the plot. Alright. The film starts out with a recap to basically when you were referring to the Annabelle doll in the first Conjuring movie. Of course, I'll be reviewing next. Which will be the second time we kind of hear the same type of thing about the doll. Pretty much they have these two nurses who take the doll to the Warrens and tell them about how they're scared of this doll and why and all this stuff, and this doll does weird things. The Warrens, of course, explained that it was trying to latch itself onto one of them and take over their soul, take over their body and stuff, possess them. Then we get the word that continues. They say, Well, the doll probably would be better off if we take the doll off your hands. And so we see them take the doll off of these nurses' hands. And on the drive back, they come across a very bad accident in which a pedestrian was killed. And we actually get to see the depths of Lorraine's abilities. So this is something that hasn't really been elaborated on so much in these movies up to this point, is that she's actually a medium. Yeah, she's a medium. Sorry, yeah, medium. She's a medium. Now it's starting to make a little bit of sense about how she can see the things that she sees and all this stuff. It's never actually been really exposed in quite this way that Lorraine Warren's a medium. We kind of can take our imagination and figure that out in all these movies, but she kind of talks to the dead pedestrian. But what's funny is the dead pedestrian is, of course, taking a liking to the Annabelle doll. And then, of course, Lorraine is like, this doll is a beacon to spirits, to demonic spirits. So, they, of course, like we all already know, they lock up the doll in this blessed sort of cage, I guess we'd call it. Basically, it's just a glass cabinet. It's made of some special blessed glass. They obviously bless the room, and this is where you start to really take a closer look at every single conduit item. You know, everything, little souvenirs that Warren, that Ed Warren has to go ahead and take from all of his investigations. Which, of course, brings us into our main story. Now, it was not really said if, when they were gone, when Ed and Lorraine were gone throughout the movie, that they were actually out taking care of the haunting that, of course, we see in the next movie, The Conjuring, or not. Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to say. But quite possibly, Annabelle Comes Home might take place literally at the same time as The Conjuring for the most part. And, of course, their daughter has this teenage babysitter. And this teenage babysitter has this friend who's obsessed with death. And we find out that this friend lost her father, and she's taken a liking to Ed and Lorraine Warren due to their paranormal investigation abilities, stuff like that, and she wants to find a way to talk to her dead father. She thinks that she is responsible for the death of her dead father in a brutal car accident. And of course, they're not supposed to have nobody but the daughter and the babysitter in the house, but they find a way to get her friend in the house. And then Lorraine's daughter says, you're not supposed to go into this room. And of course, it's the locked room that has all of the items of possession and so on, cursed objects, possessed objects, conduit objects. Well, this curious, cat caught your tongue friend finds a way to get in there and starts fiddling around with things. And, of course, Annabelle doll starts toying with her, and she, for some odd reason, she doesn't pay attention to what it says. Do not touch, this is very dangerous, blah, 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 blah. God, exactly what it says, but yeah, you know my point. Opens up the cabinet. The doll gets out. Now, this is where it gets really fun. This doll has the ability, the demonic evil demon that, using the doll as a conduit. The doll as a conduit. This demon can literally possess every single thing in that room. And so things really go havoc when all these things get possessed. And we get to see for the first time the full extent of this demon that possesses the Annabelle doll. Full Monty. He's possessing everything. And of course the rest of the film is really about them trying to find a way to get the doll back into the cage and to obviously survive. So on. They do, I might add. Then of course you gotta suck up to Ed and Lorraine, tell them what happened. They do. Ed and Lorraine are okay, of course, because they took care of the situation themselves. They got the doll back into his confined space to where it can't hurt anybody or do anything, and everything is all good. And Lorraine actually even does something very nice. She says, "I talked to your father. He wants you to know it's not your fault." And that really is a heartwarming thing. And this kind of shows you how much these two real-life paranormal investigators actually care and are understanding, which I think is really cool. Something that we miss a lot in these movies. And now let's go into quality. We have 1 minute to talk about the theatrical experience. The color. Still very much keeping to the retro look of the 1970s. This still does have sort of that Technicolor look. But this one has much more of a balanced color template to it than the other ones. This one has a much better quality in that color template thing. Something else I kind of noticed about the most of these films is they intentionally have it slightly out of focus. This one is the least out of focused one, but they do that for a reason, trying to make it look retrograde. They make it look like it's a movie from a netter time period, which I respect. This one's the least one that has that issue, though. It does look clearer, a little bit less grain, maybe a little bit more focused, but it still does have that nostalgic type of look to it. The audio. The Dolby Atmos track in this movie is very good. Very good indeed. A lot of effects that I think sneak up on you. I mean, I really like how they made good use of the height channels to where they sneak up on you and it really feels like it's something that's really in the room. My dog actually was thinking there's like, you know, doorbells ringing in real life and stuff. I thought it was kind of cool how that acoustic overhead height thing actually kind of makes it do that with these Atmos tracks on these movies. I thought that was really awesome. Very well amplified, I might add, as well. There's a lot of good amplified effects. It is not flat at all in this movie. The audio is top notch. All right.